Hey everybody. So, a couple of quick updates about life, hunting. Kind of has to do with hunting. That's why I'm making the video. Gunner, be quiet. Dog. So we finally closed on a house with some property that I can hunt, which I'm really excited about. But in the meantime, we're still living in an apartment while I finish up my last semester in the master's program. So we are currently packing, getting ready for starting to move stuff. And one of the major things that I'm trying to get out on the property as quickly as possible is sort of a food plot and a bait pile and everything for deer hunting, get the lyre stand up, get all that working so that deer and other stuff can start working onto the property and using it as a food source. And so one of the things that I'm doing now while we're still in an apartment, because I'm impatient and I also want to be able to just go on the property the day we close and put all this stuff up, is I am painting a gravity corn feeder. I'm actually not painting it. I don't have the artistic skill to paint it. So what I've done is I've set up the wind is blowing it, but I've set up tarps around the corn feeder on our little back porch. And I am basically bought a bunch of spray paint from Lowe's, and I'm going to let my lovely wife, Lydia,
hello,
paint it. And she's going to paint sort of a camouflage pattern on it so that it works on the property a little bit better. And so we're going to get that done. And this is basically the start of like a series of projects I'm going to do and kind of getting the property set up. So the bait pile, the corn feeder, is one step in several steps. We're also going to be creating a food plot on the property using these seeds. I'm not sure about the brand. I've heard a lot of good stuff, seen a lot of their advertisements. So we're going to be using that. And we're going to be plowing up some ground. It's all pretty heavy red clay out there, so we're going to have to do some work on that. And just getting everything set up so that this new deer season, the first deer season I'll have where I'm actually hunting my own property, can be the best that it can possibly be. And we're also going to be working on some new broadheads that are coming out that I'm really excited to try out and test, see what's going on there. And we're going to be working on some new calibers, the 8.6 blackout, and figuring out whether or not that's going to work really well for deer and stuff like that on our property. So there's a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of fun stuff that is coming in the works. I know I've been kind of quiet. So it happens when you're getting a master's degree, but things are going to start happening now. And this is one of a few videos of us kind of getting this property set up and prepared for what we're going to do. So enjoy watching my wife paint this feeder with my limited help.
hi everybody. This is Lydia, Payne's wife, and just wanted to give you a quick little voiceover of what we're doing here. So because the base is already a black, we decided to go in with the green to start. Green is very prominent in camo, at least up here, especially with the foliage that we have. So I started just by kind of moving around, changing different directions. We did have a little bit of an issue with the wind and trying our best not to spray paint ourselves or our apartment, but just kind of worked around the different sides, trying to see the different techniques, added in the brown, and then trying to get a little bit more definition of the shapes that we were using. So kind of went in making those different organic shapes to make sure it would blend a little bit better with the foliage surrounding it. Had Payne kind of recruit here to help me out, tried to make sure we got some of the legs finished, but then we decided to let it dry, and we come back again once it dries. It typically only took about 2 to 5 minutes for it to fully dry, and then we were able to go in with a little bit more definition. I think look good because, again, once it's in the shade.
Yeah, this looks great so far. Like, it's already a pretty solid finished product.
Helps that it was a black base.
Can you tilt it back a little bit so I can get a look at the legs? Legs get really just black at the bottom, yeah.
Okay.
Like that doesn't even look painted on that side. So you might just have to loop around a little bit. Mm-hmm. So why don't you explain to me, as well as everybody else, So what have you done so far? What's kind of the overall goal?
Sure. Okay. Overall goal is camo. It's gonna be set underneath trees, so we're not too concerned about it exactly blending in because there's going to be sun shining through the trees that then cast shadow onto it. So there's gonna be a little bit of an easier kind of cheat to the system than probably for most. So what we've done so far is, because it's already a black base, I've gone through, I did a good covering of green and then went in with the brown that you got and kind of did more spots on that. So now just kind of the next step is to deciding, are we wanting to go in with more of like details so we can get closer and do more smaller things, more smaller shapes to make them look like sticks or to look like leaves and let it blend in, and then basically do the same thing with the black, because we also have black spray paint, and just go in to make a little bit more of those finer details you might see in foliage.
Yeah,
so.
And I don't think the goal specifically, like you said, it's gonna kind of be this standalone thing with just a lot of shadows and stuff passed around it, and we're just trying to make it look as close to like natural as we can. Not necessarily like a tree trunk or anything, but like make it look like it just kind of fits in. So we want to break up any solid colors or anything. So we're not necessarily going for necessarily like a look of branches and sticks and stuff, but to have shapes like that kind of in there that break it up more and make it look as a part of the natural environment where it's going to stand as possible. Yeah, and then you have to think that over time it will start with a base layer of like leaves and stuff, but due to like animals kind of eating around it and stuff, because we're going to put this in the middle of what I'm hoping to turn into a food plot as well, it's going to get like a level of like either dirt or clover underneath it as well. So it even more so needs to kind of look natural to the best of our ability.
Okay.
So I think we're at the stage now you've kind of put on a base layer of sort of breaking up that black pattern, and now your goal is to put in like more defined shapes to kind of make it look a little bit more
it's gonna
natural.
be more organic shapes, just going in and trying to do it so it looks more like it would be foliage, just to help it blend in a little bit better.
Interesting. Okay, well, cool, let's get back to it.
And I'm back. Now that it's dried a little bit, we came back for round 2, and this time we really focused on how we could hold the nozzles of the spray cans to really give either the shape of a leaf or, you'll see in a second, kind of to pull really quickly to kind of give the shape of a stick. We also focused on the legs. We noticed after the first round that there was still some prominent gaps on the legs, so we wanted to make sure that we had those covered just in case, animals are going to be walking around this and underneath it, which means grass really isn't going to grow super tall surrounding it, so we wanted to make sure that we got those covered. But once we kind of got around, really like how this turns out, and I definitely think under the shade of trees it's going to be absolutely perfect. So just kind of finish those touches and we're all good to go.
Okay, so despite my horrible painting skills and making big bubbles that drain down the entire project to make it look crappy, I think it looks fantastic. You did a fantastic job. Have you used spray paint before as like an artistic style?
No, I've never used spray paint before. I've, at least for an artistic aspect of things, I've used it to like prime furniture pieces that you're ending up painting over, but never with this aspect of doing any semblance of design.
Well, I think this looks fantastic. I can't wait to get it out in the field. I think it's going to look really great for hunting. It's going to break up that pattern, look a little bit more natural for the deer and any nosy neighbors that drive by the property lines who won't know what we're up to. Not that we're doing anything wrong, but why let people in on your business? So I know the dog is so vocal that he's a part of this as much as the two of us are. So you normally do art that is not hunting oriented, and you can actually see her channel linked down below. I'm gonna link it because why not support my wife and her artistic abilities? If you want to watch someone actually do real art and not just whatever in the world we just did, She does fantastic work with watercolor, sketching, some pottery, basically any medium. And she usually doesn't just do art because I asked her to. But if somebody's going to do it in this house, it might as well be her. So I'm really excited to show you guys the property. I'm really excited to get to start using this thing, and hopefully we get some really great content out of it, and hopefully we get a nice deer this year. So thanks for watching.